This is one of my favorite times of the year, and it is the spring Steam sale. All my recommendations are games I have played and deemed worthy to be on my list. Up first, I do have 30 games, all under $5. So welcome back. I am F5 Dad, the 4am gaming historian, 45 years of gaming experience. I was there at some point for every console and every game lease, and I do play at the crack of dawn, so your wallet doesn't take a beating. Let's tear through 30 deals, no fluff, and let's go. So we got Forgive Me Father, a retro style with a Lovecraftian horror twist, and it's basically one of the most stylish shooters I think I've played in recent years. Comic book art direction, satisfying gunplay, and an atmosphere that gets straight up under your skin. If you loved classic Doom style shooters but want something fresh, this is going to be your game. Absolutely worth it. Trailmakers is a vehicle building sandbox where you can shot cars, planes, boats, literally anything from scratch, and then you're going to race and wreck them. Their creativity sailing was insane. My girls loved it, and also they said the co-op was some of the most fun they've ever had with their friends. 90% off means there's no reason this should not be in your library. My next game I did actually enjoy a lot, The Division 2. It's a looter-shooter set in a gorgeous, recreated, post-pandemic Washington, D.C., and it's going to be absolutely loaded with content. The gameplay loop is tight, the world is stunning, and there's easily 100 hours here if you let it grab you. 90% off this is one of the best value propositions in gaming right now. I have featured this game on my channel because somehow I just always go back to it. We got Detroit Becomes Human, one of the most compelling narrative experiences I have ever played in recent years. You're going to control 3 different androids navigating a world on the brink of revolution, and every decision you make is going to change how the story unfolds. The production values are cinematic, the writing is sharp. This is basically an interactive storytelling at its best, and at this price, simply criminal. So I'm not big on Hunter games, but we got Hunter Call of the Wild because this game did hook me. It is a most zen gaming experience I think I own outside of Roadcraft. You're going to be in a massive open world nature reserve. Beautiful at that. Tracking animals, learning their patterns, taking your shot. It is patient, atmospheric, and completely different from anything else in my library. $2 for what is essentially a premium nature simulator. Pick it up. I had a lot of fun with my next game, Control. It is going to be Remedy's entertainment firing on all cylinders. You're exploring a brutalist government building full of paranormal chaos, throwing objects with telekinesis, unraveling one of gaming's most fascinating mysteries. The Ultimate Edition also includes both DLC expansions. This did win multiple Game of the Year awards at $4. This might be the single best deal on today's entire list. Not sure if anybody knows this, but my parents were truck drivers, and I know what you're thinking. A trucking game? Just hear me out. American Truck Simulator is going to be a very relaxing game that I love playing from now and then. Beautiful recreations of American highways, your favorite playlist on in the background, just driving. It's therapeutic in a way most games simply aren't, and the modding community is going to keep it fresh for years. But this one is always one I recommend. We got Brotato. It is a top-down survivor roguelite where you're a potato with 6 arms wielding 6 weapons simultaneously, and somehow that description undersells how addictive it is. The build variety is enormous, the runs are short and snappy, and the one more run factor is absolutely vicious. It's only 30% off, which is the lightest discount today, but it's still well worth it at $3.49. I do have a soft spot for my next game, Fallout New Vegas. It is the best Fallout game ever made. I said what I said, the writing, the factions, the choices that actually matter. Obsidian absolutely nailed it. The Ultimate Edition throws in all 4 DLCs, which is going to add hours of incredible content. 45 years of gaming, and this one still holds up like few others. If you haven't played it, fix that today. You've heard me say it before, I love my zombie games. Dying Light was ahead of its time. First-person parkour through zombie apocalypse does sound a little gimmicky until you're actually leaping between rooftops at night with infected chasing you from all directions. Your heart is going to be pounding, and I seriously mean that. The day-night cycle creates a real tension that most survival games never really manage. 90% off for this much atmosphere and content is simply outstanding, and pick it up. I do have Mortal Kombat 11. It is the most polished entry in the entire franchise. The story mode alone is simply worth the price. It is cinematic and surprisingly well written. The roster is stacked, the combat's fluid, and the fatalities are simply over the top, but that's why I love this series. 90% off one of the best fighting games of the generation. Easy, yes. Pick it up. We got Vampyr. It's going to put you in 1918 London as a doctor who's just become a vampire, and the core tension of the whole game is that you can feed on citizens to get stronger. But those are going to be real NPCs with lives and relationships that is going to change the world around you. The moral weight of these decisions is unlike anything else I've played. criminally underrated game at a criminally low price. We do have Doom 2016, as this did reboot one of gaming's greatest franchises, and it absolutely nailed it. Fast, brutal, relentless combat that rewards aggression over cover shooting. The soundtrack by Mick Gordon is legendary. The game single-handedly reminded me of the industry what a great first-person shooter is going to feel like. Under $4 for one of the most important shooters of the last decade. No hesitation, and pick it up. I know we love Grand Theft Auto, but instead of that, we do have Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. It is an open-world Hong Kong crime that never got the sequel it deserved, and I'm still hurting from that. You're an undercover cop in a beautiful, realized Hong Kong, and a martial arts combat system is some of the best hand-to-hand fighting in an open-world game ever made. $3 for this gem is an absolute gift, and it's time to get your Jackie Chan on. When it comes to gaming, I will play any type of game, and up next I do have Plague Inc. Evolved. It is a strategy game where you evolve a pathogen to wipe out humanity. It is far more complex and fascinating than what it sounds. You're going to manage transmission vectors, symptoms, resistances, countering government responses. The strategic depth here is pretty real. It's darkly funny, surprisingly educational, and completely addictive. Under $4 for a game this unique, pick it up. We got another zombie game. It is Dead Island, a first-person zombie survival role-playing game on a tropical island, and the setting alone makes it stand out from every other zombie game in the genre. Melee combat, weapon crafting, co-op chaos with friends. It's rough around the edges, but that's part of the charm. $2 for a full open-world zombie experience. You can't argue with that price. We do have Sunset Overdrive, a criminally overlooked Xbox exclusive that finally came to PC, and I had an absolute blast playing with this game. You're going to be grinding rails, bouncing off cars, and blasting mutants in a neon-soaked open world that never takes itself very seriously. The movement system in the game was some of the most fun I think I've experienced in a game. If you missed this one, today's going to be your day, and pick it up. Instead of a Halo FPS, I decided to go with Halo Wars. It is a real-time strategy built around the Halo universe, and it works way better than it has any right to. The Definitive Edition does include the Awakening, the Nightmare DLC, and it's going to look fantastic on PC. If you're a Halo fan who's never tried one, or a real-time strategy player looking for an accessible entry point, or just something different, this is going to be the one. Solid deal at $4.99. Up next, we got Company of Heroes 2, one of the finest World War II real-time strategy games ever made. The tactical depth is incredible. You're going to manage cover, suppression, flanking, weather conditions on the Eastern Front. Every battle feels like it demands real thought, and it's going to reward smart play. Under $5 for a strategy game this deep and well-crafted is going to be a genuine steal. I did not think I'd like my next game as much as I did, but we do have Mirror's Edge, a first-person parkour game from 2008 that felt like nothing else when it launched, and honestly, it still doesn't. Your Faith, a runner in a clean dystopian city, and the momentum-based movement is pure kinetic joy when it does click. The art direction is iconic. It is short and it's older, but a piece of gaming history that every serious gamer should at least experience once. If you're looking for something outside of Diablo, how about Torchlight 2? It is a classic action art role-playing game from the team that made the original Diablo, and it does absolutely show. Deep loot systems, satisfying builds, great co-op, a world full of personality. It came out the same year as Diablo 3, and I'm going to say this, there were some ways that it does do things better. At $4, this is essential for any action role-playing game, and add it to your library now. I loved my next series, and I am going to show off Metro Exodus. It did take the series from the tunnels of Moscow into a gorgeous open-world, post-apocalyptic Russia, and it is one of the most atmospheric shooters I think I've ever played. The storytelling is mature, the world is stunning, and the tension is always 100% constant. If you want a first-person experience with real weight and real craft behind it, Metro Exodus is going to be it. Pick it up. Everybody knows I do have a corporate information technology job, so I just had to do this. All right, as someone who's been building PCs since the 90s, PC Building Simulator is going to be way more fun than it should be. You're running a repair shop, diagnosing faults, building dream rigs with a real licensed components. It's part game, part actual education. My IT brain absolutely loves this. If you're into tech or just want to learn how PCs work and want something different, pick it up. Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 is a Warhammer 40k naval combat in space, and it's spectacular. Massive Gothic warships slugging it out across the void, 3 full campaigns, incredible faction variety. The scale and spectacle of the battles is something you gotta see to believe. 90% off for this much content in the Warhammer universe. absolutely take this one. I love the Wolfenstein series. Up next, we do have Wolfenstein The New Order. It's a shooter that proved single-player first-person shooter campaigns weren't dead. You're going to be B.J. Blazkowicz fighting Nazis in an alternate 1960s where Germany won World War II. And the story was surprising, emotional, and simple, brutal action. Machine Games absolutely knocked this out of the park. This is required if you're any type of a first-person shooter fan. My next game did not get the credit it deserved, so we got Mad Max, an open-world action game set in the post-apocalyptic wasteland, and it was deeply underrated. The vehicle combat was visceral and satisfying. The world is beautiful, desolate, and on-foot melee system has that Batman Arkham DNA that just feels great. It got buried at launch by too many releases at once. $3 for this much game is a steal. Absolutely check this one out. We got Alan Wake, $1.49. It is a Remedy entertainment psychological thriller masterpiece. A writer trapped in a Stephen King nightmare where the darkness is literally trying to kill him. The atmosphere was unmatched, the storytelling was brilliant, and it directly connects to the Control universe if you're playing that today. Under $2 for a game this legendary. Just take it already. Another game I didn't think I would enjoy, but I ended up loving was Steep. It is Ubisoft's open-world extreme sports game set in the Alps, and it is generally one of the most beautiful games I've played. Skiing, snowboarding, wingsuit flying, paragliding, all in a seamless connected mountain range that you can explore at any time you want. I found the game to be relaxing but thrilling at the same time, and it can just switch between the two like nothing. If you want something completely different from everything else on this list, Steep is going to be it. We got Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. It is one of the finest cyberpunk RPGs ever made. The augmentation system gives you complete freedom in how you approach every situation. Stealth, hacking, combat, conversation. Frag as a setting is stunning, and the themes of oppression and transhumanism hits harder than ever. It does end on a cliffhanger that still hurts, but what's here is going to be exceptional. I did love my final game, but I know there's a lot of hate around it, and we're going to close out with Ryse, Son of Rome, a game that launched with Xbox One and looked jaw-dropping, and then honestly still holds up visually today. You're a Roman centurion, and the combat was cinematic, brutal, and satisfying in a way that scratches that hack-and-slash itch perfectly. It's not the deepest game on the list, but it was gorgeous. It's fun, and this pride is absolutely earns its spot on my list. I do want to thank everyone if you made it this far into the video, and that is 30 games all under $5. Do me a favor and smash that subscribe button and stay tuned throughout the whole spring sale, as I do plan to release multiple videos before going back to my normal schedule next week. Remember, click F5, reset, reload. I'm F5 Dad, and I will see you on the next video.